Redditors who were born at a very young age, what is your story? Not me personally, but a friend of mine was born on his birthday. I remember when I was applying for a job as a fashion editor, they asked me what made me get into fashion. I didn't know what to say, so I said I've been putting on clothes since I can remember. Both the interviewer and I started cracking up. I got that job. To be honest with you, it was pretty rough. I couldn't talk, so I had a real tough time expressing myself. It got so frustrating I'd just cry and cry. Sometimes my mom or dad would be there for me, then they'd cover their face and completely disappear from my world. Also, I could not stop pooping myself, so no one respected me, consequently they kept treating me like a baby. I'm so sorry about that experience. Seriously, it made me tear up just reading your story. Hopefully, that mental trauma didn't follow you your entire life. You'll be in my prayers tonight. I happen to be born extremely young. In fact, I also happen to have been the youngest person on the planet, even if only for a very short period of time, presumably. We should all get a Guinness World Record for having been the youngest person at one point. I'm picturing a bunch of Guinness officials standing in delivery rooms all over the world handing out certificates for the world's youngest person and then immediately invalidating them. They get lined up in a row right after someone is born. First guy makes the certificate, second guy stamps it as official, third person gives it to the baby and takes a picture with them, fourth person takes the certificate and rips it up. Then they hand the baby back to its mother and go from baby to baby repeating the same steps. It's too tedious, things will go wrong fast. Second guy stamps the baby, third guy takes a picture with the baby, fourth guy rips the baby in half. I was born naked. That's so embarrassing. I don't want to brag or anything, but I've seen a pussy right after I was born. Not another one since that though. Dude, I was sucking on titties for months after that. Months? PSHT. I'm 31 and still sucking on the same titties. Roll up. It all started on the day of my birth, my parents didn't show up. Unexpected Schmerz. After I was born I started to age quickly, with about 1 second per second. Every 60 seconds in Africa a minute passes. No it doesn't. Have you ever waited at a single-lane bridge waiting for a tortoise to cross the bridge and you have an appointment that you can't be late for? Well seriously, this really has happened to me in South Africa. That does not feel like a normal second. Seems like that day went south. I was so shocked, I couldn't speak for a year. Wow, same, but I was also so shocked I couldn't walk for 8 months. 8 months? You were lucky. I didn't walk until I was 15 months old. Then I got over it and discovered the joys of running. Right after my birth I slowly started dying. Dang dude, that sucks. Frown. A maniac in blue clothes pulled me off and slapped me. Interesting. So tell us, what happened when you were born? Nice. While I get this is supposed to be a funny one, I actually was born at a very young age, 3 months premature. In 1987, a 3-month premature baby was a pretty dicey situation. My parents allowed the doctors to do some lung treatments that at the time were still very new. I spent a long time in an incubator and had a feeding tube. The scar makes it look like I have 2 belly buttons, which I used to think was super neat when I was a kid. All in all, I turned out fine. I have 2 kids of my own who were born healthy and on time. I guess I just wanted to share my somewhat serious story on this otherwise light-hearted thread just in case any other parents of preemies happen to read. Even if your baby is born at a very young age, there is hope that everything can be okay. It all started on the day of my birth, my parents didn't show up. Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. How totally unexpected. And by unexpected I mean completely expected. Everybody expects the Spanish Inquisition. But no one expects Perry the Platypus. Takes off plumber hat a platypus plumber. Puts on fedora Perry the Platypus plumber. Takes off plumber belt Perry. Perry the Platypus. Agent P. Zooby dooby doo ba zooba dooby doo ba. Agent P. When my mother was pregnant with me, they did an ultrasound and found she was having twins. When they did another ultrasound a few weeks later, they discovered that I had adsorbed the other fetus. Do I regret this? No, I believe his tissue has made me stronger. I now have the strength of a grown man and a little baby. Bwigged. To be honest, I've suppressed nearly every memory of the early period, but my parents tell me I avoided most activities, refused to speak, and spent much of my time crying. Big deal, I do that now. Clearly I was very sick, I was born in hospital. I was born at a very young age, the youngest age anyone has seen. People say it was the greatest, youngest birth ever. It was young and beautiful. Great age. Tremendous age. And a lot of people have ages. My people told me many people have ages. But we have such great ages, folks, they'll tell you. But no one had such a young age. The doctors, they said, we've never seen such a young age. Many doctors told me this. The youngest age, possibly ever. Joe Biden could never be born at such an age. Joe Biden, when he was born he turned 40. And maybe even older than that. I don't know, maybe even older than that. And I have never looked better. Believe me. Many people have told me it was a great early age to be born at. At that point in time it was huge. Really a great accomplishment. I was born at an extremely young age. Then it went downhill from there. The first 10 million years were the worst, and the second 10 million years, they were the worst too. The third 10 million I didn't enjoy at all. After that I went into a bit of a decline. I'm sorry to hear that, Marvin. How is the pain and the diodes down the left side? I was born at 0 years old. Beat that. Wait, you were born when you were 0 too? I thought I was the only one. Hey. Maybe it's just rare, not totally unique. If it's just the two of us, we need to write a book, there could be big money in this. So this is what it sounds like. When doves cry. Don't remind me. It was a very difficult time of my life and thus I am trying to get over it. Edit, some people are messaging me that they are sorry and I really appreciate that, but my answer is a joke just like the question. Yes. This post should contain a trigger warning. This question, all these comments have me over here giggling to myself. Glad I was able to make a few PPL laugh. You are a good man, thank you. Not sure if this counts, but at age 6 I was born without a face. I was born with a full head of teeth. Chomp. While I get this is supposed to be a funny one, I actually was born at a very young age, 3 months premature. In 1987, a 3-month premature baby was a pretty dicey situation. My parents allowed the doctors to do some lung treatments that at the time were still very new. I spent a long time in an incubator and had a feeding tube. The scar makes it look like I have 2 belly buttons, which I used to think was super neat when I was a kid. All in all, I turned out fine. I have 2 kids of my own who were born healthy and on time. I guess I just wanted to share my somewhat serious story on this otherwise light-hearted thread just in case any other parents of preemies happen to read. Even if your baby is born at a very young age, there is hope that everything can be okay. I'm glad you're around, since there was a good chance back then that you wouldn't make it very far. I had a roommate who was also born 3 months premature in 1961. Her survival was a real miracle back then. I was unfortunate enough to be born on my birth date. My mom didn't show up, and I was very, very small. I was born at a very young age, this is where you cry, but Teresa twist, my mom gave birth to me instead of my dad. After all that, why would your mom give birth to your dad? Ike, she still hasn't explained it to me yet.